So every time I get on stage, I'm given the biggest panel, and I'm reminded that I have the shortest time. So I'll try to make this as interesting as possible. Since morning, we have heard a lot of our panelists, esteemed panelists, talk about inclusive newsroom. So I think that discussion becomes a bit redundant. However, we'll touch upon it. But I want to touch upon it via stories. Considering, in fact, I think if all of us put together, we can make a very powerful news channel because a lot of powerful media personnel sitting here. Let's make this panel a bit more interesting. Let's share some stories from on-field reporting, and let's just not put inclusive witty as a word to newsroom. But since most reporters are out there on the field, so perhaps inclusivity at the work environment on field as well. So I think Rahesha is not here. I'll start with Sangha Mitra ji. Can you please have your initial views on the topic?
Hello everyone, thank you for having me here. So my story after becoming a journalist is quite boring, and why I say that is, as a woman, growing up in a very small Bihar town, which is now in Jharkhand, the ups and downs and the struggles and the challenges that I faced there was so much more. How to put it, like, no, they were much more serious than how I felt, how I found my life after becoming a journalist. Like that, all the ups and downs that as a journalist, as a woman, I faced in the newsroom or in the field, is very, comparatively easier. Why I say that is, like, in my childhood town, it's a small Bihar town. I went to a government school, Hindi medium, where I, where the girls would be judged for what time and they get up in the morning, what do they eat, where do they go, what time they come back home from in the evening. Everything was judged. And becoming a journalist, saying that you want to become a journalist, would people say that, what is this girl talking about? So now, I mean, after becoming a journalist in the newsroom, what I found is, I mean, whatever I am today, I have been able to achieve is only because I found the newsroom very accommodating of all women, and like women like me, girls like me, who were naive, were very, who were underconfident. I could not speak English, but people were like, people saw me, saw my capabilities as a desk editor, or as a reporter, rather than how I present myself or how I'm speaking, how smart I look. So it has been a very I mean, inclusivity I mean, in my experience, it has been wonderful. I've been able to work with very good bosses, or say organizations, where I saw discriminations are there everywhere, but my experience has been wonderful.
I think my experience since the morning is journalism is the safest space to work for women because been hearing so much good stories on it. So again, thank you so much. I'll go to you, Vasudha. So you worked with various journalist houses. You've worked with the Hindu. You've worked with Economic Times. You've worked with NDTV. Which was the most inclusive newsroom? And I know it's a controversial question, but
know, yeah.
and you can choose not to answer it.
Absolutely. So Hindu was the first paper I worked, so it'll always be very special to me. Inclusion for me means the fact that you also recognize the privilege that you have. So for me, the fact that I'm a woman, and I'm also a privileged woman, is very important for me to understand that there are many women who are not being represented in the way that Sangamitra has also been talking about. And that needs to be in some ways included in our newsrooms, because we also tend to show stories of a certain kind and make women feel in some ways invisibilized by not showing stories of a certain kind. So women, so it's not just the presence of a posh committee or just daycare centers which will make women in media feel that they are completely heard. I think what is important is not just adhering to policies, but also making women in the newsroom feel that we are hearing you out. for instance, if I choose to play up a story on the misuse of dowry laws, I also need to understand the context, and I also need to talk about how, there are such dowry deaths even happening today, right? So when you don't do that, the woman in me might feel very slighted, and I would feel that I'm being wronged. And as journalists,
So do you feel the pressure as to the audience? Because most audience, as we were seeing statistics also, are male audiences. Do you feel pressure while reporting as to which audience you are catering to, and hence the change in perception of reporting? Has that happened?
well, it happens because I used to be a print journalist earlier, so my audience was very different, and we are all very intelligent people. We know who's reading us, who's watching us, and now I'm a TV journalist, so I know who's watching me. So my pressure comes not just from my viewers; it comes mainly from my editors and from myself, because I also want to be answerable to myself, right? So, and peers. For journalists, peer respect is the most important thing. Like, for instance, if my peers, if my ex-bosses or the people that I respect don't respect my work, then I may not really be able to admire my work. So most journalists are not in for the money, they are in for respect, they're in
That's
for
true.
that passion. So I think that is very important. But yes, there is a layer to this. And while inclusion is happening, I'm very happy with my younger counterparts, because the way the Me Too movement happened and the way younger journalists held a lot of male counterparts responsible, I think that was amazing. So I'm just happy that the profession seems to be in the right hands, at least when it comes to women journalists.
Thank you. I'll come to you, Sonalji. Someone who oversees entertainment, features, lifestyle. You're working in a space that can be both glamorous as well as ridden with stereotypes. So how do you navigate that boundary while reporting?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's a very interesting question, because that's all that one has to initially deal with. I think that's the biggest ceiling so far as features journalists are concerned, especially those who are dealing with aspects of fashion or lifestyle or entertainment. There is always that stress that they'd be seen as frivolous journalists in comparison to beats like politics, crime, so on and so forth. So I think breaking that stereotype becomes far more challenging, especially for women in these areas. I still remember I entered journalism 30 years ago, and the reason why I chose entertainment and features journalism at that time was, and I thankfully, had a lot of choices in my campus placement at IMC to choose. And I chose the particular beat which allowed me to come home at a certain time. And therefore, in the past 30 years, I've been very cognizant that that's what women in my newsroom may just be feeling. I'm glad things have changed to a great extent. I've seen those times where if a woman was good looking, the HR would send them directly to the entertainment and lifestyle field, saying they're more presentable, they'll do well here. From that time, we've come really, really far. I see such intelligent women here also and all over in the newsrooms. However, we still do not have any mainstream media house with a woman editor-in-chief. So there is a long way to go, and I think that's the ceiling that one needs to shatter.
I think that's a really interesting take.
Sonalji, you have a unique position. I'm sure Vinita ji, Tehseen ji and Sapna ji will come in. But you moved from being just an editorial leader to being a business leader. Now you run a business, which I have some idea is a sizable number, close to 300 crore business. So, at some stage you must also focus how can editorial leaders go on to become business leaders without sacrificing the editorial integrity of the product. So I think that's something that's unique to her.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you for, again, pointing this out. Again, it was I would say at a personal level, it was a challenge. I was doing something which editors have not done before. There is a big stigma attached to moving over to the dark side, which is to even talk about money, revenue, monetization. The moment you do that, it's a given that people feel somewhere you're compromising. And to be able to not do that and still say that, okay, this is an area where I particularly feel I have a skill set in and I can do better. In fact, maybe, if nothing else, I can bring some integrity into the business side. which editors naturally have. So I'd like to think that I've managed to do that. But having said that, lifestyle again is an area where it's possible to do it, and I've done that hopefully well in areas again where it's okay to have monetization come into the field of food, fashion, travel, because you see influencers doing it, so media houses may as well do it. But as an editor, I'm very, very cognizant of the fact that there are areas which I would forever wish were untouched by the lure of money or the lure of paid news, because it's very important for the survival of the integrity of journalism, as you say.
Sure, please go ahead.
Just wanted to say that, you know, it's more important if someone with editorial background takes up such a role, because it is better for journalism any day.
Because you understand the nuances of the game. Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely. Sapna ji, you're consulting editor, the Red Mic. Given your expertise in legal journalism and with high-profile cases, including Me Too, happening, there have been a lot of changes in terms of policy in the newsroom. What is your take on it? And I was reading Red Mic पत्रकारिता का एक नया आंदोलन है, हम आपकी कहानियाँ सुनाते हैं. So maybe एक कोई ऐसी कहानी आप बता सके न्यूज़ रूम से जिससे शायद कुछ ऐसा एक पॉलिसी चेंज आया हो.
Right. In TRM, जो founders हैं हमारे, they are from old NDTV, where women were very encouraged. So in TRM, we are also trying to encourage women. Like we have organized 2 conclaves where we try to organize with the help of women's. And in our panels also, if you see that there is a very balanced representation between the men and women. We don't try, we try that, more women we will call from the different fields who can represent the women very, in a very good manner. We don't encourage men. We try to balance between the men and women. So that way we have, we try to collaborate with women. So
Wonderful. I think what I have personally seen is journalists would want to take amazing news bites from the panelists they call, but they themselves don't give amazing news bites. So Vinita, my next question to you is, can you give us an amazing story which we are captivated by, which also touches the point of the inclusive newsroom and something from your past? You have been in journalism since more
24 years.
More than 2 decades now. Yeah.
So
A story, perhaps something which happened, which reflects on our topic
There are
today,
so
or
many
maybe
stories.
yes, of course, we would love to
Newsroom
hear.
is full of stories. I
I
tell
think the
you.
audience would love to hear.
I can really ask a producer to make few films on it.
Wonderful.
Of course. So I've left newsroom 5 years back. Now my newsroom is digital setup completely. अभी मुझे ऐसा लगता है जैसे कि वो 4 दीवारी वाले ये जो न्यूज़ रूम है ना उससे निकल के मैं एक ओपन न्यूज़ रूम में आ चुकी हूँ where everybody is doing news. The old people, the kids, and everybody, podcast and everything. It's the phone is news and it's with everybody right
Citizen
now.
journalism.
Right. It is. The journalism is with everybody now.
Yeah.
Seriously. So lots of stories are there. There's one story. I have done lots of investigative stories. So I feel I have done a lot stories, Vasudha knows about it, on specifically on Babas, Mahamandleshwar and all these people.
Yeah.
So I have done one story that was almost like I acted like a proper sadhvi. I'm from Delhi, but I was acting like I'm from Dehradun. And I want to donate my whole property and everything to the Baba to become a Mahamandleshwar. I've got an offer to become a Mahamandleshwar to give 50 lakh rupees and then I can get this position. So I was working on this whole project. When I used to do these projects, I don't go to newsroom, news, anywhere. No, there's no connect with my channel during that time. So anyway, so then what happened? My boss was standing there and we were just almost about to finish that story. But something happened. They recognized my face. That person, he just said that on my face exactly. And he said, "You are Vinita." So I said, "No, I'm not." So उन्होंने जो बाबा थे, basically, उन्होंने मुझे पहचान लिया. And I was just going to have a food. मेरे हाथ में था and I was like, I acted like I don't know what are you talking about. So he said, आपको मैंने टीवी पर देखा है. So मैंने कहा माफ़ कीजिएगा मेरा कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है. तो उन्होंने बोला नहीं मैंने आपको देखा है टीवी पर. एंड ही वाज राइट एक्चुअली. उसने बहुत वक्त पहले मैंने उसका एक इंटरव्यू किया था. So such a dare, huh? Such a dare. I've done that after that, in fact. So what happened exactly after that? मैं ऑफिस आई. मैंने ऑफिस आके बॉस को he got to know कि there is a hurdle to complete this story finally. So he said, Vinita, I am thinking to drop this story. I don't need this. I was like, no, but I want this story. I can do it. So he said, it doesn't matter if we don't do this story. No, but I said, I want this story to do. I can do it. So newsroom is all about yes and no sometime. I want to do this story. This is my story. I can do it. So, and my boss was like, कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है because अभी फंस गया है मामला and all. उसमें काफ़ी कुछ हुआ था. I started tracking my phone and a lot of things happened. So anyway, so newsroom is all about that. A newsroom is something for me is such those walls where I feel alive, where I really see a lot things without somebody is not saying even to you कि ये खबर करनी है आपको. You feel the buzz of the newsroom and you feel to do that work with the A+ grade. That is newsroom. And for women, I'm sorry, but I don't see women and men in newsroom. There is no men and women in newsroom. It's above the gender. It's absolutely above the gender. Because when we do the story, means I am Vinita, who I am doesn't matter. I'm a female or a male, doesn't matter. Important is I can do this story. I have done a lot stories like that. When Nepal earthquake jab hua tha, I was in newsroom and जब मैंने देखा तो मैंने बोला मैंने कहा I want to go and cover this. Though I have a phobia for earthquake, I tell you, it is horrible. Sometime I suddenly feel okay, something is shaking, okay? मुझे ऐसा लगता है लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. I'm just telling you, you know, इस level का मुझे है phobia. लेकिन मैंने उस वक्त ये call लिया. I want to go and cover it. First day आया था 7.9 and the next day it came like 7.3 का earthquake था and I was standing on those cracks in Nepal at that moment. So my boss, when he saw it, okay, she wants to go. उन्होंने देख लिया newsroom में कि she wants to go. And my one boss is here now. Anuradha ma'am is here. She is somebody like who, I mean, मैं कह सकती हूँ मैंने उस घर से शुरुआत की है. And मेरे investigative stories भी मैंने वहीं से शुरू की थी. After that, I worked with Star News for 12 years, then News Nation, TV18. I started with BAG Films. So a lot of stories, lot of things, and to always, I admire ma'am. I tell her on her face always that, क्योंकि क्या होता है कि जब आप leading position पे जाते हैं, as last from 5 years, I'm just trying to run this setup, News Nasha. We have 14.3 lakh subscriber and 50 crore people have watched us till now. It's quite a different thing to have your shoe, I mean your foot into a different shoe. I can realize now what you are doing from many years and such a wonderful thing. Seriously, ma'am. I can realize it now. And I feel bit of it, I can do it when we have lots of responsibility to think of running a one setup continue. Start is always easy. Continuously working on it is a different thing, absolutely different. And newsroom is definitely is also one of that thing कि जिसे आप step in तो करते हैं लेकिन उसमें टिकते कितने हैं वो उतना important हो जाता है. That is what I feel.
Thank you so much for that insight and amazing story. I wish all Mahamandleshwars become journalists and journalists become Mahamandleshwars. They're totally amazing. She's saying no difference anymore. Next question to Tehseen ma'am. I think you're the only person here who has been both a journalist and in the corporate world. Now, one thing which I can take from the discussion since morning is that as journalists, we have so much work that we often forget the gender boundaries. So as a lot of panelists have said, कि newsroom में नहीं दिखता कि ये लड़की है या लड़का है, जो story गई जिसने उठाई वो उठा ली. क्या corporate में ज़्यादा time होता है? Because वहाँ पे I have worked with a corporate house before. We see tons of videos on gender sensitization, etc. So somebody who has been both in news as well as corporate, how is gender inclusivity different at both the places?
So I'll say I have worked with an organization, NDTV, for 10 years, which had set gold standards. And I will say that there was no gender bias. If you are a reporter, you are a reporter. If you are on desk, you are on desk and you have your identity. That doesn't mean that, you are a female, you will be, given some special task, or if you are a male, you will be given it differently. In fact, I will just share one very small incident that there was a junior colleague whom we were training, and Nithari case was going on. She was asked to go. So she was hesitant and she said, please kisi male ko bhej dijiye. So that time the managing editor said, now you are the only one who is going to cover this story till the end. No one else will go. 3 months she was following up on the story, and after that she got an award for that, and she understood that how journalism is and how it can be done. Coming to the corporate side of it, I will say, as of now, I have not seen any bias for women because diversity, equity, inclusion is in place, and organizations, especially corporates, are very mindful about the fact that equal opportunities are given to everyone despite gender and caste or anything else. So there's no discrimination. Coming back to the point where we lack is, for women especially, is the mindset. I will tell my own personal experience that to my colleagues when I declared my second pregnancy, so one of them looked at me and he said, बाबू अब आप न्यूज़ में काम नहीं कर पाएंगी, आप बीएड कर लीजिए और आप टीचिंग की जॉब ढूंढ लीजिए. तो मैंने बोला क्यों? अब 2-2 बच्चे रखेंगी तो कैसे आप न्यूज़ रूम की शिफ्ट करेंगी? So I looked and I stared at him and I said, look, this is my responsibility on how I'm going to take care of my children, how I'm going to balance the hectic newsroom life. And I will say that NDTV has set a standard. So I 10 years without any family support, as in from my family, as in my mother's side or mother-in-law's side, I was able to manage my kids because NDTV had a 24/7 crèche for women employees. We can do any shift and we can leave our kids in the care and we can go and see them wherever possible. There will be a doctor sitting for 12 hours. There was a homeopathic doctor who will visit, and there will be another doctor who will be sitting along with the caregivers. So I will personally say that they were more aware about my kids' deworming cycle and the vaccination cycle than me. So this kind of culture should always be promoted, and that is how women can flourish. Because I see in corporates, like you asked that how it is in corporates, I have many friends. When I was in college, I was doing my journalism, then I did my specialization in corporate communications. They were at the peak of their career. And when I say peak, they were just a level below the leadership role. They were ready to take the CXO position. And all of a sudden, they disappeared. And when I tried contacting them and I asked them what is the reason, they said they had to quit job because they had to nurture their children. Their families told that, we have enough to feed the family, why don't you sit at home? And there were no crèche facility with the corporates or within the vicinity. They didn't get that kind of support. They were out of the industry, and when now their kids are grown up, they are trying to come back, they are not able to. So the best thing which we can get to and we can do to get more women to the boardroom is that be supportive, start a crèche facility. Another thing is, I mean, in India, we have to change our mindset. I don't know why caregiving always comes, whether it's the in-law side or the parental side or anywhere, the female is being asked to take that role. She will be said, okay, take flexible hours or quit your job. So that is where, everyone has to support. The corporates or, the newsrooms have to give that kind of liberty. Okay, you want to take leave for these many days, you want to take sabbatical, you want some support, please do that. Another challenge I'll tell you, just 2 minutes more and I'll finish, that one more challenge which women feel, and I have seen all women leaders in the newsroom, Vasudha knows that, NDTV was always led by women leaders, be it Sonia that time or Manika. Radhika used to take call for Pranoy, he will never take his call, and Radhika will say, okay, do this, and he'll do it as a gentleman. So I have seen that kind of leadership. One problem which I have personally faced as a field reporter is toilet facilities for women. While I was chasing Shivraj Singh ji's rally, election rallies in UP for like 15 days, there were no clean toilets and no one bothered. The crew will quickly stop for 2 minutes saying the completer will get the exclusive interview, and they will not bother where their woman employee will use the washroom. They will conveniently use, and as a result, women who's traveling will get UTI. I got UTI thrice, Vasudha will agree to me. And once I was, I was waiting outside for late Sushma Swarajji's exclusive interview, and there were 7 news channels. So I was on a 7 a.m. shift. I was waiting, and I waited till 11:30 p.m. And there were 4 other female reporters who were waiting, and there were some 5-6 males. So the males very conveniently, wherever they could find, they went. But for us, the problem was that we couldn't move, because if the exclusive was given, what if the gate will open and one will enter? What about the other? So we were, just standing and holding till finally 2 of us went inside and told the guard, "Bhaiya, please gate khol dijiye, hum log ko washroom use karna hai, aap nahi khade ho sakte." And then Sushma ji got this message, and she called our editors to say, "Aap in female reporters ko bula lijiye, main kisi ko interview nahi dungi. That is my promise, aur agar dungi to inko hi dungi." So these kind of things, a supportive environment. This sounds like a very small thing, but for a field reporter, it's a very, very big thing. So to summarize, be it corporate or newsroom, we have to see, females are built differently, how we can support them so that they, are able to hold on their jobs, they are able to move the ladder, and it should be both ways. Like, caregiving should not only come to the females. Male members should be equally responsible. Similarly, in the newsroom, like, we never discriminate. It should be both the jobs. Like, okay, we are doing similar stories, but we should be equipped similarly. So that's also one part. And now, lastly, coming to the Me Too, I was on the sexual harassment committee, and still in this organization, I am on the sexual harassment committee. We have to be very mindful. After Me Too, I'm supportive to it, but there is another side to it. I have seen and witnessed in my career that there are women who use men to climb that ladder, and later on, when the relationship doesn't survive well, they speak up. So when we are at responsible position and we analyze that case, we have to be very mindful, and we have to gather all our facts before reaching a conclusion. So that's all from my side, I think, and both the things apply on corporates as well, because corporates are more mindful.
Thank you, thank you. So Sapna ji, you wanted to add?
I wanted to.
Yes, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just, a very small point. She mentioned caregiving, and, when a woman has kids, she needs to take care of that along with. I lead a newsroom where, around 200 people, but the average age is 24, because in arts and culture and lifestyle, younger girls, their problem is much before the caregiving happens. Shadi hona apne aap mein problem hai, which we don't talk about openly. But a lot of people think that women journalists hai to zyada tez hongi, to un becharon ki shadi hone mein dikkat hai. So I'm just saying that that's one thing that people need to change their mindset about women journalists for them to reach this stage of caregiving.
No, I think rightly said, and some really amazing points put up. I know the time's up, but I'll take a few questions. I'll take a couple of questions this time. Yes, please.
So thank you very much, because this place is full of women journalists. Just wanted to do this comment that you have the opportunity of interacting with CEOs, board members. Always ask them, why aren't there enough women CEOs, and why aren't there enough women independent board members? Okay, the seats go empty. Because a lot of the times, especially around the Women's Day, we will do panels among women. We will talk CXO women, saying what can be done to be encouraged. But the people who can really sponsor, mentor, are the men who are there on the boards. Yeah, so this is an appeal, from my side.
So Vinita, you want to take that? Yeah.
So I was just checking some facts before coming here. The good news is India is really ahead in digital women participation than America and Europe right now. Yes, women CEOs is one thing, but TV में वो काफी अभी बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन newspapers में it's much requirement अभी उसमें काफी पीछे है. I think you can mind that.
I run a podcast for CEOs. I had started with the intention that there'll be 50% women CEOs there. I couldn't find them.
I would like to add to this. When it comes to decision making, I know that we still have a very long way to go. women are still not there in those decision-making roles, and I believe that we are men and women in a newsroom. A woman looks at a story very differently. She puts a little
Absolutely.
more nuance to a
Absolutely.
story. And
We all saw Gaza reporting,
I've
etc.
never seen a woman boss of mine saying that this is a soft story. That used to be initially, women are supposed to do softer beats and men are supposed to do the harder beats. So you do crime and then you go on to become one of those famous defense correspondent. That's what the males do. And for the females, it's the features. And then you do health to become like a more evolved reporter, and then you get into political reporting.
Absolutely.
But those barriers are being broken. Women speak very differently. They look at things very differently. So I take your point. I think that is one thing that the leadership also.
I think the lens of the story is from the power of empathy, is what differentiates a lot. And
Whose fault is it anyway that if we don't have women? I'd just like to add. Whose fault is that?
okay, so we are out of time. I'm so sorry, and I think it was a very powerful panel. Very, very powerful statements which came up. Thank you so much. We would love to take more questions, but we are out of time, so you can take it outside, offline. Thank you again for being an awesome panel and an awesome audience. Thank you.